Northeast. Wes Higgins here with Rat-l-Trap. I'm out here on the water today, Cliff Crochet down the Chaffalaya Basin. Been enjoying ourselves out here on the water, and Cliff's asking me, how did Rat-l-Trap get started? So I'm just going to tell that story real quickly because it's a really cool story, how the company came to being, and just the story behind it's about one of the pioneers in the tackle industry for bass fishing, Bill Lewis, and how he started the Rat-l-Trap. Bill was making lures out of his garage. Like a lot of guys start out, trying to just make their own creations and enjoying getting out and catching fish on it. He would have guys routinely come by his garage throughout the week to pick up baits, try them out. Toledo Bend had just opened at the time. This was in the early 60s. Later that weekend, he was out at Toledo Bend fishing. Back in those days, it was a small aluminum boat with a 9-horse on the back. And had a tough day on the water, was headed in down the boat lane. They were going to call it a day. Only had a couple bites. And as they're pulling down the boat lane, they see about 30 boats all crowded up in an area. So, of course, curiosity got the best of them. They pulled up to see what was going on. And they realized that these boats weren't fishing, but rather they were watching one boat that was off from them just catching fish after fish. And it was 5-pounders and 7-pounders and big fish. As he got closer, he took a look and realized it was a guy that had come by his garage earlier that week. So naturally, he hollered over and said, "Hey, what bait are you using?" The guy's reply to him was, "Bill, it's that ugly-looking rattling bait you gave me." Had no name for it at the time, and he wanted to know if he had any more of them. And Bill didn't want a frenzy on his hands, so he said, "Nah, I don't have any right now." He hadn't even tried the bait yet, so he turned out of there, cranked his motor, went down the lake, tied some of these ugly-looking rattling baits on, and caught over 50 fish that day. On his way home, he was in his old Ford station wagon that he called his Rat-l-Trap, and he said, "I got to come up with a name for this bait." And there it goes. That's how the name Rat-l-Trap came about, and that's the day he knew he had a special bait, and that's the bait that started rattles and all hard baits within our industry. And I think that's why Outdoor Life has named Rat-l-Trap the most influential lure of all time. So anyway, a little bit about Rat-l-Trap, and here we are today with a lot of new colors out. Again, I invite you to go to dicksportinggoods.com to check out their exclusive Supernova series. And until next time, this is Wes Higgins from Rat-l-Trap.